Yeah. Was it moving? What moving? The time. Yeah.
Good morning. We're broadcasting today from actually along the Oregon coast. I'm on my way to baptize a baby, and the reason I'm going to baptize this child is because I had baptized the grandparents and the parents of the child. So it seemed that they wanted me to come and baptize the baby as well, and so I'm on my way down to baptize. But I wanted to stop and share with you a little bit of this part of the Oregon coast. Some of it's more dramatic with more rocks offshore and things, but here at Bayview area, I wanted to address a question that's come up quite a bit in the last few weeks, and it's about Stephen Hawking's new book. Somewhat of you asked me if I didn't know Stephen Hawking's. No, I met him at a couple of private receptions and spoken with him, but I don't know him, and he certainly doesn't know me. But in any case, in his new book, he suggests that the universe could have been generated literally from nothing, and gives a couple of laws of physics which he might suggest would perhaps permit the universe to become generated almost from ex nihilo, as we say, from nothing. And I'm going to have to take exception to this particular idea of Mr. Hawking, Dr. Hawking's, because, first of all, if we talk about all the forces of gravity and things, I don't see that you could have the force of gravity without something acting and interacting, because I still hold that gravity is a function and not a particle or a substance or a thing. And it can only function if there's something that can act and generate a field of gravity. But somebody asks, what could the Earth or the universe be generated from? Well, it wouldn't have been matter. It would have had to be heavily condensed energy that could have exploded and generated matter. And when we talk about the creation ex nihilo, from nothing, by God, we have a basis for that. Because in Orthodox Christian theology, we understand that the way God interacts with mankind and with the universe is really through his uncreated energies. Consequently, there is a clear energy source that could generate being, that could generate things, the universe. Dr. Hawking's ideas are always profound, always meaningful, and if you'll remember, some years ago I had asked Stephen Hawking about non-baryonic dark matter, and he replied to me, well, you're Eastern Orthodox, you know the meaning of mystery. And I think that the generation of the universe has to be held also in mystery, and that we have to be willing to accept mystery in order to keep from generating one theory after another that end up absolutely meaningless. Because there are some things that remain eternally a mystery that cannot be explained and will never be explained, and among those is where a prime singularity or a kind of denseness of compacted energy could have come from that would have generated the universe in the manner that we generally think of it being generated. However, the question is really answered simply enough by the fact that the uncreated energies of God were there in the beginning, and that from that God can generate created energy and generate the universe and all that exists in it. From a purely scientific point of view, taking God out of the equation, we still can never come to understand where the prime energy source could have come from. And we cannot understand how the universe could have been generated from that energy. We can perhaps posit that there is a recycling universe that expands to a certain degree and then collapses, but the rate of expansion of the universe really at this time, as we understand it, would preclude that. It wouldn't have happened. It couldn't have happened under the circumstances that we see in the universe today. And the idea that this collapse takes place comes down to a prime singularity. Well, I know some people dismiss the singularity scientifically, and that it's really just an expression we use. But in any case, for the universe to collapse down to that and re-explode and regenerate yet a new universe with perhaps different laws of physics and different laws of nature is really not a reasonable surmise. The universe is expanding outward at a very rapid pace, and it's already come to the point where there likely isn't sufficient gravity to call it back down and collapse it again. So we have to say that all this has to be held in a mystery, and whatever Dr. Hawking and some other leading scientists have to say about it, ultimately it has always to remain a mystery. But I think the Orthodox Church has an answer in speaking of the uncreated energies of God. You see the energy of the waves out here in the sea as they roll in and carve and sculpt and carry away part of the land mass and build new land masses elsewhere. This is a very powerful and great energy that's being generated here in this raging sea, and the energy of the universe has to have originated someplace. And I still come back to the fact that the most plausible and reasonable answer is the uncreated energies of God. And He manifests this in the created energies of the universe. And this gives us an answer as to where the original energy that could generate the universe came from. And it gives us an answer every bit as plausible as the idea of a collapsing universe regenerating itself time and time and time again. And especially in view of the fact that with the expansion of the universe and the rapidity of its expansion, which seems already to have broken the grip of gravity, that it doesn't seem reasonable to surmise that this universe could collapse in upon itself and explode into a new universe. So this is the fact that it's very, very important that we remember that the foundations of Orthodox theology are in energy and light, the uncreated energy of God and the created energy which God created, or which He generated. And that the universe could very well have come into existence from nothing because of the uncreated energies. And we say nothing because we're talking about the created energies. So the universe comes into being through created energies which did not exist, but which were generated by the uncreated energies of God. So when we try to discuss Orthodox theology without created and uncreated energies and created and uncreated light, we cannot. We do not have Orthodox Christian theology without these two factors. And we also do not have a proper response to the understanding of the coming into being of our universe without those two factors, both from a scientific point of view and from an Orthodox Christian point of view. The uncreated energies of God were sufficient to generate the universe in which we exist, because through them He brings into being the created energies which bring forth the universe and impel it outward and give it the energy and the creative powers to have produced all that it has produced. Thank you, and God bless you.